Cypress Financial Group presents the Retirement Roundtable Podcast with John Scallan. Get more at cypressfinancial.net. Now, let's get to the show.
A lot of people, when they, create a small business with what you do to help adults to and through retirement, it'd be like Scallan Financial or John Scallan Retirement Solutions. Well, the name of your firm is Cypress Financial. Where did that come from?
Oh, my friend, great question. Very, very intentional, right? The great cypress tree for so many people in Louisiana. We hunt under these trees. We fish for bass, under these trees. They're in our yards. Just an iconic tree for Louisiana. But, Mark, this was, again, very, very intentional because if you've ever seen a cypress tree here in Louisiana, you know that it's built differently. Mm-hmm. These trees, they thrive in environments that would destroy other trees. It grows in a swamp, in unstable soil, in hurricanes, and it doesn't just survive. This iconic cypress tree, it stands firm. The reason it can do that is really because of its root system. A cypress tree develops what are called cypress knees. These are actually structural supports that rise above the water line or above your yard and actually stabilize the entire tree when conditions get rough. And Mark, to me, that's exactly what financial planning should look like. Think about it. Markets fluctuate, tax laws change, businesses sell, life happens. But if your financial life has the right structure, the right roots, the right stabilizers, you don't tip over. The plan doesn't tip over when market volatility hits. At Cypress Financial Group, our job is to build those stabilizing structures into our clients' financial plans. Things like tax strategy, risk management, income design. Those are the knees of the financial plans that keep everything stable and upright. Mark, anybody can build a plan when the weather is perfect. We build plans that stand up when the storms come.
The cypress tree can weather the storms of the hurricanes and the high winds. It's essentially, John, what you do every day at Cypress Financial. You help adults weather that storm of their retirement, of the ups and downs of the financial storms, of the markets. That number is 504-732-1001. And John, where can we find you and the team at Cypress Financial?
We are in the heart of Metairie, 3421 North Causeway Boulevard. Mark, we've been here for a long time. We've had really great demand on both sides, of the lake here in the New Orleans metropolitan area. And we've recently opened up another office in Mandeville on the Brownstone office complex on Florida Street. Been a great addition. We're able to serve clients not only, on the South Shore, but the North Shore, and Mark, really throughout the Gulf Coast region. We have clients all through the state of Louisiana. Many times we will talk to them via Zoom calls, telephone calls. We certainly visit our clients at their homes, at their businesses, Mississippi clients, Florida clients, Texas clients. Again, we have a very diverse client base, and truly it's been just the honor of my career to work with people all through the Gulf Coast. Mark, you can always find us at cypressfinancial.net. Many of our clients go online, they book an appointment. We also offer a very high-level retirement ready report. Again, you can call us at 504-732-1001, and we'll get that report to you in less than 48 hours. You can go to the homepage, again, cypressfinancial.net. Order it right there. It gives you great information that can really help you move the needle in retirement.
And John, on the weekends, there's nothing I love more. And now that PGA is back in full swing, and even my wife makes fun of me because I'll flip on the NASCAR race on Sundays, and as soon as it starts, I'll immediately fall asleep because there's no better nap than falling asleep in lap number 5 and then waking up when the checker flag comes out.
As long as you're not driving the car, Mark, I think that's an incredible strategy,
That's
man.
fair, John. And something interesting about naps. The ideal nap is about 51 minutes. You wake up feeling refreshed and energized. But if you sleep longer than that, it's reported you'll fall into that deep sleep and you actually wake up feeling worse than before you laid down. Groggy, disoriented, more tired than when you started. And it made me think about financial decisions. Are there decisions like that? Things that feel comfortable in the moment, but it leaves you worse off down the road.
Mark, absolutely right. Yes. I mean, people make decisions sometimes that they feel comfortable, but long term, sometimes, especially in financial planning, they're actually hurting themselves.
Okay, so you talk about we make decisions that make us feel comfortable. Can you give me some examples?
Okay, here's the big one. Avoiding investing in the market completely. Mark, I get it. After 2008, after 2020, after 2022, heck, I can go all the way back to Black Monday, 1987. People get scared. They get really rattled seeing, their investment portfolios in the market just absolutely crater. In some of these situations, they've seen their accounts drop by 20%, 30%, and it is truly terrifying. So they say, you know what? I'm done with the market. I'm putting everything in CDs, money markets, conservative investments. In the short term, Mark, it really feels great. Their account value isn't bouncing around, but here's the problem. Fast forward 15 or 20 years, inflation has absolutely destroyed the purchasing power of your money. These clients played it way too conservative, and now some of them are even potentially running out of money.
So that's like that deep sleep type of mistake. It feels good now, but you wake up worse later.
Yeah, well said, Mark. Here's another one. Claiming Social Security too early or too late without running the numbers. And listen, I'm not saying pulling it too early is always wrong. We talked about that last week. But some people file at 62 just because they can, without understanding really what they're giving up. They feel good because the checks start coming in, but if they live to 85 or 90, they've just cost themselves literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. Or here's another big one, putting your kids first at the expense of your own retirement. I've seen so many times parents who've raided their 401k to pay for their kids' college, or they co-sign for loans that they just can't afford, or give the money they don't really have to give. Again, it feels good in the moment. That's what you've signed up for as a parent. But Mark, you're helping your kids. 10 years later, you're the one who can't retire, and now your kids have to help you.
I can't imagine, and I don't want to think about having to have that conversation with my daughter, for whatever reason, having to say, can you help me retire? That's got to be a tough conversation, and John, I'm sure you've seen it before.
Yeah, a whole lot, Mark. I'm not saying don't help your kids, but you've got to secure your own oxygen mask first. Listen, Mark, because if you run out of money, you become a burden to the very people that you're trying to help. Here's one more. Planning to work forever or indefinitely. Mark, I hear this all the time. I'll just work until I'm 70, maybe 75. I like my job. I'm healthy. Why not? And that's fine, Mark, until it's not. You know what the data shows, Mark? That only about 50% of retirees are actually able to continue working as long as they planned. Listen, health issues, aging parent issues, company layoffs, your back's giving out, hips, knees, bodies wear out. And if your entire plan depends on you working until 72 and at 67, your employer pushes you out, now you are in what I call crisis mode. But they're deep sleep mistakes, Mark. You wake up 5, 10, 15 years later and realize, you know what? I've made a mistake that I just can't fix.
All right, so John Scallan, how do you help us avoid some of these deep sleep mistakes?
Mark, it always comes back to planning. I mean, the pillars of what we do here at Cypress, we run the numbers before you make a decision, not after. We generate a financial plan that is a work in progress. We can tweak this. You know, if you are healthy, we continue to push it out. But, you know, what does these decisions, what do they look like 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years? Mark, let's say there's a couple from Terrebonne Parish. They're thinking about pulling $50,000 out of their IRA to help their daughter buy a house. I mean, this is generous and that is incredibly caring and loving. But let's model it out. What does $50,000 grow to over 20 years if they leave it invested? What does their retirement look like with that money versus without it? Can they still accomplish their own goals? Listen, sometimes the answer is yes, you can do it and you can be fine. But sometimes the answer is, you know what? Maybe you give her $25,000 as a gift and she gets a slightly smaller house. Or maybe you loan it to her and she pays it back to you over time. There are options, but you've got to look at the long-term impact of what some of these decisions have on your life.
So, John, somebody's listening this weekend and they're wondering if they've made one of these deep sleep mistakes or they could potentially be close to making one of these mistakes. What can they do right now?
The first thing you can do is pick up the phone, 504-732-1001. Let's get together and let's review it. Let's look at what decisions are you facing? What does it look like long term? Do you have any other potential options? Again, initial meetings are complimentary, no fee, no obligation. Let's just make sure you're not setting yourself up for one of these deep mistakes that feel good in the moment, but could have potentially catastrophic long-term effects.
John, I want to talk about something I think could be affecting a lot of families over the next couple of decades. We're talking about an inheritance. It's called the Great Wealth Transfer. We talked about it before here on the Retirement Roundtable. And we're talking about trillions of dollars moving from the older generation to their kids and their grandkids over the next 20 years. There was an article in Market Watch that said, many people are not prepared for the issues that come with inheriting money. So what are some of the difficulties that you see when it comes to an inheritance?
Mark, you know, this is a big one. Most people think, hey, great, I'm getting an inheritance. That's a good problem to have. But there are some complications that could potentially come with this. The first one, I call this Lamborghini fever, right? You inherit $200,000 and suddenly you're thinking about new cars, dream vacations, paying off the house. And Mark, look, it feels good. But 6 months later, the money is gone and you don't have anything but potentially a depreciating asset to show for it. I can tell you someone who inherits $150,000 from their mom and within a year they've blown through it. New truck, kitchen remodel, helped the kids, took a big trip. And then they realize, wow, I could have used that money to retire 3 years earlier. Or listen, they could have funded my entire retirement health care. The temptation to spend newfound money is real and it runs out fast. I would really encourage you. Pick up the phone, give us a call, set an appointment at cypressfinancial.net before you pull the trigger. Let's look at the impact of what this can have on the good side as well as the other side, Mark.
I love how you called it Lamborghini fever. That's fantastic. But that's the emotional piece. What about the practical stuff, John?
Well, here's one: inheriting your parents' financial advisor. I mean, let's say that, your dad passes away. He's got $400,000 with his advisor. The advisor calls you and says, "Hey, sorry for your loss." And I'm sure he's sincere. Let's keep the money right where it is. And, you're thinking, well, dad trusted him. Maybe I should just leave it. But hold on. The advisor might have been great for your dad's situation, but is he great for yours? You're 55, your dad was 85. You've got completely different needs, different timeline, different goals. Do you keep the money with them, or do you move it to someone who specializes in what you need? And then there's the question of what you're inheriting. If it's cash, great. But where should you put it? High yield savings account, invest it, use it to fund a Roth IRA. There's a strategy involved with each of these potential decisions.
I'm glad you brought up cash, John, and I'm sorry for interrupting because, cash is king, but the reality is we can inherit other things beside cash. Can you give me some examples?
Yeah, this is where it really gets interesting. I mean, let's say you inherit stocks or real estate. These are appreciated assets. There's something called a step up in basis that can save you a fortune in taxes if and only if you understand it. Basically, when you inherit an asset, the cost basis steps up to the value at the date of death. So if your mom bought stock for $10,000, now it's worth, let's say, $100,000 when she passes it, you inherit at $100,000. That becomes your new cost basis. If you sell it the next day for $100,000, you owe no capital gains tax. But Mark, this is also important. This step up only applies to assets like stocks, real estate, things like that. It does not apply to retirement accounts like IRAs or 401ks. Those accounts were never, ever taxed to begin with, so there's no step up in basis. Every dollar you pull out of an inherited IRA is taxed as ordinary income, no matter what. A lot of people don't know this, Mark. They think all inherited money is treated the same, and it's absolutely not. The tax treatment can be completely different depending on exactly what you are inheriting.
We can't get away from taxes. Always thinking about taxes. John, there's always the tax consequences that we have to think about.
Yeah, big time, Mark, especially if you're inheriting retirement accounts. Again, IRAs or 401ks. The rules changed a few years ago. It used to be you could stretch an inherited IRA over your entire lifetime. Well, the Secure Act basically said now people have to empty these accounts within 10 years of inheriting the investment. And every dollar you pull out is taxable as ordinary income. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you inherit a $300,000 IRA. If you pull it all out in 1 year, you could easily pay $90,000 to $100,000 in taxes. But if you spread it out strategically, right, over this 10-year period, pull some in low income years, coordinate this with your other retirement timeline, you could save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. Mark, here's the problem. A lot of people don't know this stuff. They're grieving. They've lost the people they love. They're overwhelmed, and they sometimes make decisions that could cost them a fortune.
So, John, if somebody knows that inheritance is in their future, or maybe on the flip side, they want to leave something to their family, what's the best thing to do? How do you get ahead of it so that the IRS doesn't get a bulk of your hard work?
Don't make any fast decisions. Take a breath and then call us 504 732-1001. Let's review what you inherited together. What are the tax implications? What are your options? How does this change your overall retirement picture? Should you invest it? Use it for income? Save it for health care? Initial meetings, again, are always complimentary. No fee, no obligation. Helping people integrate inherited money into their overall plan strategically. Let's play chess, not checkers. Let's make decisions based on the numbers, not just on pure emotion.
And real quick, John, speaking of, we got a great call last weekend from a gentleman who just very happy-go-lucky individual. And he made the comment that he's working hard, he loves his job, his wife's retired, but he has zero desire to retire. But he still needed some guidance on your part to kind of put some ideas and strategies together. How difficult is that for you to make a plan for us when we truly enjoy what we're doing? There is no end date for us. Is it hard to make a plan when there's never a real specific retirement date?
You know, Mark, let me be as candid as I can. I mean, I have people walk into my office with a modest savings, a fair amount of debt, and a very high income need. Mark, quite frankly, those are the cases where we really have to work, right? Where do we get the income? When do we pull Social Security? Listen, in this particular case, this gentleman was just, he was a joy, just a fantastic attitude. He had accumulated some significant assets and some real estate. Mark, none of this is easy, but when we get an opportunity to sit down with someone who's done the hard work, they've saved, they've worked, they have planned, they're ready to move into this chapter, but they've got the energy and the desire to continue working. These cases certainly require work, but these are the cases that we absolutely love because this additional income that this gentleman's going to generate from, working past his full retirement age or all the way up to age 70. This just gives us additional income to supercharge this particular situation and add additional funds so that he can really live the life that he wants for the next 3 decades.
Investment advisory services offered through Cypress Financial Group, a registered investment advisor firm. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Cypress Financial Group, John Scallan, Louisiana Insurance License Number 1064997. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Cypress Financial Group. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.